I was thinking the other day, I was thinking about people that jump in and out of relationships. Well, before I begin, let me introduce myself. For those who don't know, my name is Angie. I'm the founder of Love Inspiry, and our mission here is to build more powerful, transparent, and durable relationships. And so I wanted to hop on because I was thinking about relationships, or people jumping in and out of relationships. People wanting to leave their marriage for X, Y, and Z reasons, whatever the case may be. And I started to think about 5 key components that you should be thinking about when you're trying to decide whether you should leave a relationship or not. And so that's what I wanted to come on and discuss. I'll be less than 15 minutes. And if you have any questions, you can just leave it under the feed and I will answer when I get a chance. So the first thing that I want to talk about is if you can share things in your relationships. So when I'm talking about sharing things, I'm talking about insecurities, I'm talking about vulnerabilities, all of those things like that. And when you think about sharing things as a couple, sharing things, your insecurities, sharing your vulnerabilities, that's what's going to build connection in your relationship. And if you can't connect with each other, you don't have true companionship if you don't have that connection. What you have is a simple association with one another that may include some type of benefit, if you know what I mean. So think about if you're sharing your insecurities with your partner right now. Are you sharing your vulnerabilities? And I'm going to touch on that in the second point that I make. Also, I want you to think about what your daily conversation is like. Do you check in with clarity? And what I mean by clarity is, are you checking in to really find out what's happening with your partner, or are you doing it because that's what you do when you come home? How was your day, hon? How did things go? Blase, blase. Really clarifying and asking follow-up questions, asking open-ended questions so that your partner knows that you truly care about what it is that you're asking them, and it's not just a routine thing to ask them. The second thing that you need to think about is, can you trust this person? And take trust with a grain of salt, because trust is one of those things that your partner can literally forget to take the trash out, and then all of a sudden now, I can't trust you to take this out, so I'm going to do it myself. Like, trust can be easily broken, so you definitely have to take this with a grain of salt. It's something that can be easily broken, but it's something that can take a long time to fix, especially when you get to a higher magnitude of the offense. It'll take a longer time. So there are 4 categories in my new book that's coming out this year. It's about trust and forgiveness. So that's going to be a really good one. And I talk about 4 categories when I think of trust. And that's loyalty, that's integrity, fidelity, and that is vulnerability. And I'm not going to get into them on here, but what I will say is, if you can't trust that your partner is going to do the right thing, if you can't trust that your partner is going to make the right decisions, whether that's for fidelity, whether that's supporting you, whether that's just paying a bill or two, whatever the case may be, that's something to really take into consideration, because you have to have trust in order to build the relationship that you fully desire to have. If you want it to go long term, you have to have that trust component in there. So I'm not going to talk too much on that, because I'll be doing like a whole series later, probably March, April, about trust and everything like that. But can you trust your partner? Think about that. Can you grow together? So this is another one of my favorite things to talk about, growth, because I don't believe that couples outgrow each other. I just simply think that couples don't do the work anymore to keep their relationship prospering, to keep it growing the way that it should. So can you guys grow together? Think about this. If you're working towards something together, some people are okay with just having a basic relationship, and if that's you, that's totally fine. I'm not knocking you. But if you want to elevate, you have to be working towards something together. If you're not working towards something together, you're working towards nothing. And at that point, what's the point of even being in the relationship? What's the point of even having a relationship if you're not working towards something together? I think when it comes to growing in your relationship, I think one thing that you need to focus on is having some sort of relationship goals. coming to some sort of agreement on striving towards something together. What is it that we want to work on this month together as a couple? My whole point with this particular thing is making sure that you are not having a relationship just to be in one. And when you have no goals, when you're not striving towards something together, that's when it comes to a point where you're just in a relationship just to say that you're in one, as opposed to being in a vibrant relationship, a flourishing relationship. So just remember that small goals are better than no goals. So number 4, do you have balance as a couple? In other words, do your strengths and weaknesses as a couple complement each other? And what I mean by complement each other is, can you utilize each other? Or if you have a weakness and your partner has a strength, are you allowing that person, your partner, to help you with that strength and making that strength for you? Are you utilizing each other as resources? Also, something to think about, are you in full understanding of each other's roles? And that's part of identifying strengths and weaknesses. If you're not understanding your roles as a couple, then you will probably have a hard time with balance and in finding strengths and weaknesses. The best relationships use each other's strengths and weaknesses. All right, you're good at this, so you do this, you handle this. All right, you're good at that, okay, you do that, handle that. If you aren't clear of these things, you have no direction, and that could be why you're suffering in your relationships, or you're kind of want to get out of your relationship. The last thing that I want to talk about, number 5, is, are your logistics similar? So when I'm talking about logistics, I'm talking about your morals, I'm talking about your values, I'm talking about your principles, I'm talking about finances. Now, here's the thing with this. You don't have to be on the same sentence with this, but you need to be on the same page at some point. It's okay to grow together and learn to adapt to certain things and come up with your own flow. I know, like, sometimes, you know, me and my husband, we take ideas from his parents, take ideas from my grandparents, and we just make our own little Nate and Angie, as opposed to being a carbon copy, because it's just not going to work that way. We are unique in our own way, but our logistics are going to be similar. You know, we're on the same page in that aspect of, all right, we know what we want, we know we want this, we know we want that. All right, we just have to compromise on how we're going to get to that point. So I just wanted to go over those things. Just think about that thing. If you find yourself jumping from relationship to relationship, or you want to get out of your marriage for whatever the case may be, or your relationship right now and it's not going anywhere, think about these things. Think about, can you share things with your partner? Can you trust them? Can you guys grow together? Do you see potential for growth together? Do you have balance? What kind of balance do you have? And are your logistics similar? And if you find that you're being challenged by some of these things, I'm not saying leave. I would never tell anybody to leave their relationship, because it's just, I feel like you have to make that decision for yourself. Otherwise, somebody else is making the decision for you to leave, and that doesn't become your decision. It just becomes somebody else's, and you won't be satisfied with that. So I would never tell somebody to leave their relationship. But the thing is, you need to try to implement better practices and habits in your relationship. That's the best way to do this, okay? Are you looking at how you can better trust each other? Are you looking at how you can find better balance? You can't just leave without giving things a shot. That's what I'm getting at here. If you go anywhere, the grass is not greener on the other side. You're always going to find something wrong with somebody. You can find something wrong with your partner right now. I can find something wrong with my husband. He can find something wrong with me, but we don't leave because we found something wrong. No, we're going to identify the root and we're going to work towards it. So I talked about those 5 things. If you're watching the replay, just drop your questions below, your comments below. I will answer, like I said, when I have the time to answer your questions. And if you want to talk one-on-one with me regarding your relationship status, things that you may be suffering with, please feel free. It's scrolling on the screen on Facebook, but please feel free to reach out to me at www.loveinspiry.com/services. The link is in the bio on Instagram. The description will be, or the link will be in the description on YouTube, and it will also be in the description on Facebook. So I'm gonna hop off. I'm not gonna say when I'll be live again. It's just more when I feel like being live. But just know that we're still working over here, and we're still you know, inspiring by love. So I'll see you guys all next time. I hope you guys have a blessed evening, and yeah, check out Love Inspiry podcast, check out our new website, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also vlog over there as well. So I'll see you guys all next time.